Cells are the building blocks of plant tissue. Roots, stems, and leaves are all built from cells, which are these tiny little cities that grow in every plant. Plant cells are classified as eukaryotes. But what exactly does that mean? Let's break it down. Eu means true, and kary means nucleus. So therefore, eukaryotes are cells with a nucleus. Way down there are lots of little bodies we like to call organelles. Each tiny little body has a very specific job to do. All of these organelles are floating in a jelly-like fluid called cytoplasm. At the edge of the yellow material, before reaching the darker green layer, is the cell membrane, which protects the cytoplasm from the outside environment. In plant cells, there is another layer of protection called the cell wall. The cell wall and the cell membrane work together to hold the cell's contents together so that plants can grow very high. A small hole in the cell wall allows materials in and out of the cell. These are called plasmodesmata. Let's move on to the command center of the cell called the nucleus. The center of the nucleus is called the nucleolus, which produces ribosomes, but we'll get to that. Surrounding the nucleus is what we call the nucleoplasm, which is a material that contains the nucleolus and 24 chromosomes, 12 maternal and 12 paternal. This is all contained in the outer part of the nucleus called the nuclear envelope. It acts as a barrier between the surrounding reactions happening in the cytoplasm and the nuclear contents. Nuclear pores on the surface of the nuclear envelopes work as gatekeepers that allow necessary proteins to enter the nucleus. Right outside the nucleus lies a network of folded sacs called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short. The rough ER is where the ribosomes I mentioned hang out after leaving the nucleolus. Ribosomes are bits of RNA that mix and match with proteins here. The smooth ER is where other cellular products like hormones and lipids are made. Now, let's talk about the food factories in the cell, called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are plastids found only in plant cells and create a process called photosynthesis, where the chloroplast green pigment known as chlorophyll works with light to create stored sugars for food. This huge blue bubble over here is called the vacuole. Plant cells have many vacuoles, but the main one is called the central vacuole, which is basically a huge storage center for water that can be up to 90% of the whole cell, and they continue to grow with the cell. Now that's crazy. Let's go look at this little body over here called the mitochondria. You can usually find several of these in a real cell, but they are the powerhouse of the cell. It takes in nutrients, breaks them down to create energy the cell needs to operate. Every cell needs a powerhouse, so you'll find mitochondria in other cells as well. Now over here is the Golgi complex, which takes in proteins and other materials, modifies them, assigns destinations inside or outside of the cell, and packs them up in vesicles, which transport proteins into their various destinations. Yep, the Golgi complex is pretty much the Amazon of the cell. Right down here we have the proteins and ribosomes I mentioned earlier that get packed up by the Golgi complex and shipped out. Finally, we have the peroxisome. This little guy is responsible for taking in toxic waste and breaking it down to be removed in packages through the plasmodesmata. So, there you have it. Every single plant cell is designed to be its own spectacular little city with food factories, waste management facilities, warehouses, and distribution centers, delivering packages to its various customers 24/7. Thank you for watching.